So, it's been a while, and I want to talk a little bit about why it's taken me so long to make another video. Really quick before I get into the PvP tips. Um, so, really, what's been going on is a lot of the servers right now, the dual servers, any server that has implemented 1v1s, a lot of them are either dead or just like not really working properly. Their elo systems don't work. So, it's been hard to try to even like get real footage for meaningful PvP other than like me 1v1ing other people, but that's mainly for practice. I've just been practicing getting better. I've also been having some health issues, and with school starting up, it's just been hard to really get anything that I would consider like meaningful as content. So yeah, that's why I just want to put something out. I didn't want to go forever without putting something out. So that's why I'm gonna bring to you guys some tips on how to win more fights in PvP. This is just me, the past week, just been grinding 1v1s against, friends, other good PvP players, learning a lot about the game. And so, yeah, I'm going to be going over 3 basic tips first, and I'll go over 3 advanced tips at the end. So, starting with the first tip, I want to go over why you should use each weapon and when you should use them. Now, I'm only going to be using 4 weapons in consideration for this: the battle axe, the one-handed sword, the daggers, and the mace. Now, the reason I'm going to do this is because a lot of the other weapons that you can't craft in the vanilla version of the game, I call them like unimplemented weapons. They're not necessarily supposed to be in the game. Now, the reason for this is because they're completely unbalanced. As you can see, I'm going to show you right now. Now I have a crude sword here. I want you guys look at the damage numbers. 5, 6, 11, right? It's like, okay. The crude sword and the sword in general is like one of the worst DPS weapons. And that's like, as you can see, I'll compare it to the club. You'll see how much worse the club is. The club is like almost like hitting somebody with their fists. Like, it is just that bad of a weapon at crude, right? So you're like, okay, well, why is that bad? Well, the crude version is really bad. But now if we go to the mithril version, so let me get the mithril sword. You can see the mithril sword, it's got better damage than it did with the crude version. But now look at the crude club to the mithril club. Like, so any server that's using these unimplemented weapons like the club, like the one-handed, the axe, these weapons, the long sword, they should not be in the game. All servers like Hytale, bro, if they have these kind of weapons, it's just leading to a lot of imbalance in the games because these weapons are not supposed to be in the game in their current state. So that's the reason I just want to give quickly why I'm only going to be showcasing with these weapons here. Now, let me go over what I consider the best weapons first. So, the mace, the reason the mace is so OP is because it has the highest, like, single hit damage without, like, anything extra. So, a lot of people know that the weapons have, like, a combo. So, you see how the axe has a combo? The last hit does a lot of damage. Same with the sword. The last hit does a lot of damage. The daggers are kind of weird. It's, like, the last 2 hits. The mace, it doesn't have an extra damage. You can see the damage is always the same, but is the highest single hit. So the mace is always usually your best option to start a fight with, is the first hit, because it deals the most, unless you're already on an axe third hit, in which case this does more damage. Or you want to charge in with, like, this, but even that is, like, look at this, like, a charged sword is less damage than a mace. So, mace is really good for that. Mace also has the highest attack range in the game for any weapon. And it has the highest knockback. Just baseline. So if you can't test on the target dummy like this, but if you're able to do this, it knocks them back pretty far. And it can knock them out of range so that they can't hit you anymore, which is really good. The axe is really good because of the third hit it does. The combo hit is the highest actual single hit damage in the game. And it just has, like, just really fast hits. It's much faster than mace. If somebody's swinging a mace, because the axe is faster, you can block to after you hit. Because the attack is so much faster than the mace. So that's the advantage of the battle axe. And I'll be going over some of the more advantages when I go to the advanced tips. I'm just trying to go for, like, the basic versions of this stuff. I think the third best weapon is the daggers. The daggers, now, the basic attack might seem like it's good because the DPS is actually not terrible. but actually, the reason why the dagger's basic attack is bad is because while the maces and a battle axe can hit you from back here, to hit with a dagger, you need to be like up here. Like even this is out of range. The range difference is like an entire block. It's really bad. Like you don't want to be just sitting here trying to hit somebody when they can hit you from back here. It's really bad. The main advantage of the daggers it has the highest charge attack damage. So if we're talking about, okay, I said the mace is the highest single target hit. Well, it's for a basic attack. The battle axe is the highest combo single target hit. The daggers actually has the highest hit damage you can do with 92 on a backstab, and this is adamantite. But for all versions, like all metals and tiers of weapons, the dagger backstab hits will always do the highest amount of damage out of anything. So that's the advantage of the daggers. The daggers should only be used for mobility, like this. Oh, I messed up that roll there, but like this. Mobility. And for the charge attack. Only reason you should ever use daggers. Sword, my opinion, worst weapon in the game. The only advantage is not the sword itself, actually the fact that you can use a shield with it. The shield actually takes, I believe, less stamina when you're getting hit with blocking. It has a nice little like punch that knocks back kind of far. And also I'd like to say is that the only real upside to the sword is also the charged attack. And it's the fact that, I'll get into a later tip, but it's the fact that this hitbox is like a constant hitbox when you're charging. So you'll always hit the opponent first whenever you're charging. It's actually kind of good to mix it up sometimes and throw in even though it doesn't do a lot of damage, sometimes just throwing in a sword hit and trying to like get some distance, it's actually pretty decent. Now, that's why you should use the weapons and why each one is good. Now, tip number 2 is conserving your stamina in fights. So stamina is like the key to everything in Hytale PvP because it's how you block, it's how you can run away from people, it's how you like charge attacks, which is mainly daggers, it's how you do like the highest damages with that. Now, if you're sitting at low stamina constantly, you just won't be able to block. You'll be able to block one attack, and also if you're at low stamina and you block, your stamina gets to 0, you get shield broken. Getting shield broken is probably the fastest way you die in this game, because if you can't block anything, you're just gonna get maced and then axed to death. There's nothing you can do about it. You have to try and run away until you get your shield back, or try to kite them and then out DPS them somehow. So always conserve your stamina every time you go for a dagger dash, or sword dash or anything. Just make sure you maybe get some mace hits in, let your stamina recharge back up to full, and then you can go in for another charge attack or block. As you can see, how stamina works is whenever you're charging up, so let me just get my stamina down. If you're ever charging up, let me just like cancel it consistently. If you're ever charging up your weapons, you don't actually gain any stamina. So fainting is like pretending to dash on somebody is only really good when you're at full stamina like this. You could sometimes like feint, like I like to do sometimes, but it's only good for full stamina. If you're doing this while you're 0 stamina, now you're just losing your stamina, like you're not regenerating at all. It's also the same for blocking. If you're blocking like this consistently, like you're spamming your block, you're panicking, look at your stamina. You lose about, I think, 1/20th of your stamina bar every time you press the block button, other than just holding it. But also just holding it like this, if you're just acting scared and you're holding it, look, you're also not regenerating stamina. So it's all about finding times where you can regen your stamina, which is basically just getting in basic attacks, then blocking, basic attack, maybe getting a charged hit in, maybe blocking. Okay, now I need to go for more of that than blocking. You see, always making sure your stamina is good in case you need to like run away or do anything else. Now, third basic tip is using your sprint button and learning how to space with it. This is one of the things that I've learned a lot over the last week, because at first I didn't think sprinting was very useful. And, I'm always like, okay, well, stamina, you just charge. So if I have stamina up charge, there's a lot more to stamina than just using charged attacks and blocking. And one way sprinting, you can sprint for a long time while not using stamina, but it also gives you an insane amount of spacing potential. So if we just go, I already said how the mace can hit from like this range. Well, this kind of, you have like a little charge up, so realistically you can actually walk and hit into it. So you can actually be like this far away, walk up into range, hit them, get like a knockback on them, walk backwards if you time it correctly. Especially if you get the backwards version. This is like when you're holding down and you swing, you make it so it hits up. This one has the most, like, I don't know how to explain it. It knocks them back the most this way and not to the sides. So if you can go something like this, let me see if I can get it here. Like this. This is like a good way of like kiting out their range and then knocking them back away from you. You can go from like right there, as you can see, and sprint in and get a hit. What you can do also is you could use sprinting not only to get in range, but to like kind of kite them in and out of range. So if we say, like we said before, this is their range, and we know they're going to walk at us like this, we could sprint to hopefully be able to like dodge their attack and get in range again. Like that, kind of. It's kind of finicky sometimes, but it can also just be used to, like, you could just mind game people with it. Like, you can do whatever. Like, sprinting just opens up the range at which you could hit people. And if people understand that, and they start to notice it, now they have to play scared from a farther away distance. Like, they know you can hit them from here, this range, if they're standing still, and they don't back up. So yeah, that's the basic tips. I'm gonna go over the advanced tips. So if you have to take away anything from this and something that you can work on, because this is actually one of the biggest skills that people, like, I have to still learn and master, and what you should take away is animation canceling is the #1 thing you need to learn in this game to actually win at PvP. And it is a little bit, it can be a little bit difficult sometimes, but when you learn how to use it properly, it's really OP. So what is animation canceling if you don't know already? So I'm going to show you what a normal like mace hit looks like. If I'm spamming just mace, this is what it looks like. You can kind of see the timing on how fast it hits. Now, animation canceling is when I hit them, like there, you see how my thing lingers a little bit. Like, I'm spamming click right now, but my weapon is still kind of like going out to the side and it's stalling. The animation is still playing, right? We want to cancel that animation. We don't want to keep sitting there. So what we're going to do is, as soon as you see the damage marker hit them, you need to immediately swap off to another hotbar slot, and you swap back to the weapon and start hitting again. So it's going to look something like this. You can see it is much faster than just randomly just swinging your mace without animation canceling. The DPS completely relies on how fast your window of animation canceling is. But it can also be risky, because as you can see sometimes... Okay, wait, let me not mess that up. You can see, like here, sometimes it looks like it's hitting. It's actually pretty hard to mess up the mace one. But you see there, like right there, I got like some good ones there. You see a little bit of the hit marker was starting to play, but I canceled it too early. Now the damage doesn't go through, now you're wasting your time. So it is very skillful to try and do it as fast as possible to get the highest DPS, get the fastest amount of hits out, but also not completely cancel your attacks, which is way harder on the battle axe. The faster the weapon, the harder it is. Like, the mace is actually, it's kind of hard to mess it up. As soon as you like see the mace in your camera, you can just do it. But I tend to mess up the battle axe a lot more. Like, let me just use, this is the normal battle axe swings. I'll just show this to see how slow it is. You can really see the difference on the battle axe. Okay, now let me swap with it. Yeah, and also, like, you see, it's really easy to mess up on the battle axe. Sometimes you even see, like, the blue hit, like there. You see the blue hit sometimes. So it's really about getting that timing down, but not, like, too quick. Now, the second advanced tip is going to be understanding combos and light attack storaging, like combo storaging. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, I was already saying before how the axe dart hit, it's like the best non-stamina use hit. Other than daggers, it's actually the highest hit in the game. So, how can we abuse this fact? Well, by using animation canceling, what you can do every fight, it's not very easy to see, but if you do look in the bottom right, you can see whenever I press the hit button, and you can also listen and hear the swing. So I'm gonna be quiet. When you hear the swing, that means that you canceled the attack. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attack, and I'm not gonna like do this where I swap after I hit. I'm gonna swap immediately after I swing. It's gonna cancel the swing, but that is gonna consider. So you know how 1, 2, 3. We have the 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna essentially cancel the 1, 2 before I get into a fight, and then I'm gonna hit the 3 in the fight. So I'm gonna go like that. You could hear the swings. Now, I need to test this a bit more. I've seen sometimes on servers that when you cancel like this, the opponent can still see the full swing, but also sometimes they can't. If they can't see it, it's really good. It means like, if your opponent only sees this, then they don't know that you're getting the third hit out, right? And that's really good for you, because then you have the big advantage because you're getting the biggest damage swing, and they might just hit you with a mace, which is actually a lot less damage than the third hit of the axe. But this is only really good when you've created some distance from your opponent. If you ever have distance, it's good to do this. So what I'm trying to do now in every fight is if there's ever distance, immediately start storing up axe hit just to get that ready for when I go back into the fight. Now this can also tie into defense. I'm gonna kind of do a two-parter here. That is like the offensive version of how to use this, but the defensive version is this is gonna be also going over when should you block. It's a big question. You should only be blocking what I call like the major hits. Anything charge attack related should always be blocked, especially daggers. Always block those attacks. Mace hits should always be blocked, and you should be counting, if you can, you should be counting what swing your opponent is on for their axe hit. You can also tell by the animation. If they're not doing like canceling or whatever, then you could tell because you swing like left to right, they'll be swinging this way left to right. So like you'll see on the right to left. That means their next attack is going to be in upwards. You need to block that always. So try to incorporate that. Also, I think I forgot to mention this, but another thing about the light attack storage is you not only need an animation swap like this, but you can also, a more useful way in combat is to animation cancel a block. So you can do swing block, not necessarily back to back, but then I messed that up there. I waited too long. Okay, also the storage for the animation canceling, I forgot to say, for the combo attack, it doesn't last forever. If we wait too long, it's gonna be like this. It usually, from what I understand, it lasts as long as this attack would take to like come out and do its full animation. So if you like wait like this long, we would still have it. So you don't have a huge window. So you always want to like do it like right when you know you're about to go in. What you could do is something like this. So you could force a fight like this. Yeah, so that's like all the ways of using this like combo storage is making sure that you have the right timing on it so it doesn't run out. Canceling with either swapping like this or blocking. Mainly for blocking, it could be like you get your first hit in, you could go for a block on their hit and then get your third hit off like that. When you're blocking, you count so you know which axe hit they're on. Always try to block that one and try to block every mace hit. Mace hits are usually pretty easy to block because of how slow they are to come out, but sometimes it's just ping and you'll just get hit by it anyways. And for the last tip is going to be how to like get the finishing kill. Now, a lot of the times this will be for if the opponent is really low and trying to run away, or when you're to stand off for, like, let's say you're like really low, like, let me just try and get myself a little bit lower. Okay, like, let's say you're really low, they're really low. How do you guarantee the kill? Now, this is where I believe the sword is best at. Now, I was talking about this earlier. Because the sword has this like hitbox that travels with you the entire time, no matter what, you will most always, like 90% of the time, 95% of the time, you'll always, if they're in range of this, and no matter what they're doing a dagger hit or whatever, you will always get the killing blow on them. Because of how the sword works. Now, the problem is sometimes, like as you can see right there, sometimes you just like overestimate the range. You try to dash in, and you go here and you don't kill them, you're just gonna die. They're just gonna mace you or anything. Another good way to get a fishing kill is also with the daggers. A lot of people use daggers. It's really anything that has mobility. Any way of getting on your opponent fast and try to surprise them. Like it could even be this, like charging up a mace hit in advance. Anything like that, where you get the first hit on them, or you charge like this, or you get like this. It's a good way of finishing your opponent off. Now for daggers, I've had a lot of dagger fights which have ended good and bad for me. And what I can conclude from, especially when two people are charging daggers at once, the person that always wins seems to be the person who's always on top of the other person. If you are somehow higher than your opponent, and they're flying and they're below you, but they're also in the air, you will more often than not kill them first. Also, however, there's a lot of times which happen if you land early, if you're below them, but you land early like this, you can like flick and hit them up, and you can kill them that way. Like you will hit them much earlier, and you can actually hit them without them even hitting you like this. So that's like how a lot of tiebreakers that I see end up. I also think if you're moving faster than your opponent, if you're on like the same elevation, if you're moving faster, you'll end up killing your opponent first. But yeah, I mean, a lot of times I like to go with the sword hits. That's what I've been trying to incorporate into my PvP, and it's been working quite a bit, but I do sometimes just end up doing, okay, that barely hitting range. Like, let's say you're barely out of range here, you'll end up doing this, and then you just die. So it's a lot about knowing the distances, and they could also, like, be moving backwards, too, or moving forwards, which could change what your realistic actual range is on hitting them. But yeah, those are all my tips for now on how to win more fights in Hytale PvP, and I really hope more people end up playing Hytale PvP, because a lot of the PvP servers, 1v1 servers that I've seen that have PvP kind of implemented already with 1v1s, even to like a decent level, they're kind of dying, and that's like their main problem, like I said before. And we honestly just need more people trying out PvP, because I do believe PvP is the most fun aspect of Hytale. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something from this. And hopefully the next video isn't too long afterwards, and I can get more PvP footage, because, you know, I'm tired of PvPing the same people over and over for practice, and I want to be fighting other people and, you know, getting elo and climbing and stuff. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.